Hello viewers. I was going to say fans, but that's really pretentious.
Yeah, there's no guarantee they're fans also.
I always get told off by my girlfriend for saying, one of my fans. She's like, you're a dick, stop that. Stop that. Anyway, this was recorded quite some time ago, but it never quite made it to the channel. We don't really know if it's something you guys will want to, you'll want to watch it, but whether you want more of it is another thing. Let us know. So check it out and let us know what you think.
Hello and welcome to our new show on 427 Motorsports, 427 Scale, where Connor and I are going to build scale model cars. Why did I go really Northern Ireland there?
Are you presenting for BBC News Live?
I could be on BBC One. Anyway, welcome to this new show. Some of you might like this, some of you might not, but Connor and I have always been massive model enthusiasts.
Yeah, we're not actually starting this for the first time. Like, you may think we're just going to be like really shit at this, but yeah, we're going to be really shit at it anyway. We've done it for a while, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to flex too hard, but we're actually pretty good at it. So we thought it'd be something to show you guys. Because it's not always possible to go out into the freezing cold garage and get some work done on the real car. So this is a nice extra side project for us to do when we can't be arsed.
All the time for me.
Yep. So cue the new intro and let's get started.
So here we have only the car that the Audi Quattro could have been.
Do you remember we had this whole thing?
We did, yeah, about 10 or 15 years ago. I really liked the Quattro and you really liked the Lancia Delta, and we had like Facebook arguments about it in front of everybody.
Yeah. They were weird times.
Yeah, that was just what you did back then. Coincidentally also, this was the only kit out of about, I don't know how many kits we've got here, but this is the only one we could both agree on that we should do the first, so here it is.
The only reason, because it was the only thing me and him could pick.
Yeah. So if you don't know, this car dominated Group B rallying basically through the latter half of the 80s after the Quattro.
No, it didn't.
Did actually, yeah.
Group A, not Group B.
These were Group B car.
That was a Group A car.
This specific one. You being particularly.
The only one that was Group B was the Delta S4.
That's the only good one. That's the only good one. Down on that hill. So this is an Italeri kit. Now, if you're familiar with model cars or model kits in general, you'll know that not all of them are created equal. Some
model kits are created equal, but some more equal than others.
Yeah. Some manufacturers are better and some are worse than others. And when it comes to military stuff, Italeri's pretty good usually, but with cars, what do you cars are maybe hit and miss with them?
I have only built one. It's the Mark II Escort, which is also on the shelf there. And sorry, the kit box is on the shelf. And I butchered it so much that I couldn't really comment on how it would have done originally, because I put a Skyline engine and stuff into it. Yeah, Italeri's car kits I think can be a bit wonky, a bit hit and miss. But you know, we're big boys now. We'll see what we can do with this one. The decal sheet looks very nice. It's very crisp looking. That's what you always have to say about decal sheets, no matter what it looks like. Generally they will look alright. But of course, you got the famous Martini livery on these cars, which has to be done nicely. Okay, so with car kits, generally they give you the body because they know that if you get all the individual panels, you just mess it up. Military people can, they're able to make everything go together nicely. You know what I am just noticing now, actually? There's only one door that's open. Whenever you first opened the box, I was like, oh class, the door's open.
Just one.
One door opens.
Just the driver's door.
What the? What?
There it is. And then you get your glass pieces, which is like an entire canopy here. Including a sunroof, but the kit's not really, it's got vents, but not really like space for sunroof. And then you've got your body panels.
Those are what you would call rally flaps, and the Pretzels have them too.
Yeah, little vents, little sunroof vents. So you've got your body panels on one sprue. This is called a sprue. We're getting really basic modelling terms here.
Don't be condescending, this could be new for people.
It's just called a sprue. And then you've got your interior on this one. You wouldn't think that all of this basically makes one car. You'd think this was too few parts. Which again is maybe like an Italeri thing.
That implies to me that it's a very basic knit.
Is that a windscreen wiper off of the Hilux?
That might feel that that's meant to be up the top. Oops. I'm gonna get out of the shop.
And then you've got your rubber tires as well, which is pretty standard for car kits.
They're usually very detailed, as in like they'll be accurate, the tires.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll have manufacturers on them, but tires are usually like, when you see photos of a model, and even if it's really well done, tires can usually be the giveaway.
They can. You've got to do them right. They don't have manufacturers on them. These are quite, but they're alright. They're nice enough. Like, you know, we'll see how we get on when we put this all together. So yeah, there's actually really not too much to it. This should be a nice quick kit to start us off with, and we should be able to show you a nice finished result. Okay, so the first thing you want to do with any kit is remove what they call flash. And that's stuff. Yeah, thank you. That's stuff like this, which comes from the injection molding process, where it gets left behind when they take it out of the molds. So you want to just scalpel away at that, being careful not to take any of your model away with it. Oops, there we go. Oops. And you can get quite a nice little cut on that with the scalpel, but you can also go too deep as well if you're a silly billy like me. So yeah, you basically want to just go around the whole thing, slicing away, like the likes of that there. You can probably see it on the camera, but just a little bit untidy around the headlights and things like that, you know. Now, to be fair, this kit does have quite a lot of flash on it by the looks of it, which some people would say is the mark of like a good or a bad kit, is like how much tidying you have to do on it. I mean, fair enough. I suppose it's all sort of indicative, isn't it?
It could also just be the fact that it's an old cast.
Is it an old cast, yeah?
I'd say so. I'd say that's probably from the heyday of the Delta.
Of Group B rallying, but
Aye, dead on.
Group B was the only decent Delta.
Literally says on the box 1990. So like,
Oh yeah, Group B had been.
yeah, Ford had already ruined it for the rest of us by then.
If you don't know, Ford had a bad crash and killed a load of spectators, and that's why they had to stop Group B. It's gonna happen, like it was gonna be one of them.
Somebody had to do it.
It was gonna be one of us. They're all crashing flat out. Lancia were particularly interesting though, because there's loads of horror stories about how they didn't have like real roll cages and stuff in them, like they were just made of like toilet roll tubes. Because they were a little bit Italian, a little bit cavalier,
A little bit Italian.
a little bit Italian. They also apparently, was it Lancia where they didn't homologate all the cars, they just like pretended they did. When the homologation inspector, was that for the Stratos or something? When the homologation
I've heard that, yeah.
When the inspectors arrived, they like took them to go for lunch and then showed them the other half of the cars. It was the same cars. So this is what you'd ideally not want to use, but inevitably you will need to use it. This is filler basically. You may be familiar with it from big cars.
Not everybody does that.
So if you want to come in here with the wee camera, and take a look, can you see there where there's pin marks in the doors from where it's been molded?
See, white is not an easy colour.
No, but I'm moving it around and it like.
Oh yeah,
See it there. So that wants to be filled because the real thing wouldn't have that.
it is a Lancia though.
True, I was gonna say like maybe. So what you want to do with this is you basically daub it on, and then you take your cocktail stick, which I hadn't actually mentioned, and you smooth it out there. And that's it, that's all you do. No,
Looks good to me.
so you smooth it out there like that, and just fill in those holes. And then you wait for that to dry, and when it's dry, you can take a bit of sandpaper to it and make it look very nice.
So, while Connor's over there prepping the body, I'm going to put a base coat of paint onto this black sprue. I put the base coat on because it means then any further bits of paint and further coatings will take to it a lot easier. It's kind of like primer, except can't be arsed using primer, so oh well. We'll be using the Tamiya lacquer paints from over there to put a coat of semi-gloss black. However, I have noticed that on this sprue of parts that would usually be black, the wheels are also on it, and they are white on this, I believe, Connor?
Yeah, they should be white on
On the Delta. They should be white, so I'm going to take those off of the sprue.
on the out Group B Delta.
On the there you go. There's probably a much more professional way to do that, but oh well. So now I'm going to set them into the base of the box, and use the airbrush to put a coat over the top. Now, most people will tell you that you should do this in a well-ventilated area and probably wear a mask and have an extractor fan. And yeah, you probably should. So when you're doing it, you should definitely do that. However, I've enough great cells left, I'm alright.
Sit meat built different.
Right, let's go. So now I'm going to do the base of the model. Now, after looking at some reference pictures, from what I can gather, the inside was in primer. So I'm going to use Tamiya German Grey as my colour, which is probably going to mix with the black because I didn't didn't clean it. You're alright.
Yeah, for what you did. So what I've got here is Tamiya Plastic Scriber 2. Now, presumably there was a Tamiya Plastic Scriber 1 at some point, but
I'm not familiar with Tamiya Scriber 1 there, I'll be honest.
No, and what this is, it's something I've never done before. I haven't really made much cars, but
I do know
cars.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel I need to shout that. Like,
oh, you do it all the time, do you? Ah, well,
I bought the two.
Billy Big Bollocks over there does this every time, apparently. Fucking basically, people who make car kits like to, if the doors come molded in, they feel the need to basically they seem to feel the need to like scrape a line down in between the doors to make it deeper, even though there's a line there. So I'm doing it for the first time now to see what it's like, and I'd near enough have actually opened this back door.
I will tell you the actual reason why they do it, because this fella here just makes it seem like we do it for the crash reveal. The reason we do it is because the paint is deeper in there, and the more you scribe it, the more of a shadow it creates on the paint, which makes it look like the doors actually will open, and it's more in scale than the very faint lines that they have normally, which get filled with paint way too easily and then just look solid.
I'll be trying to thoughts out there.
So that's why we do it.
Did you? Well, I'm trying it now for the first time. I'm enjoying it. It's very therapeutic.
Okay, so Connor's done a little bit of the air assembly there, and I just realised that glare isn't really set. I just grabbed it by the sides of it. Okay, we'll set that over there. So now we're going to do a little bit of detail painting. So I thought I would take the realm here and take that realm. Yeah, the magical realm, the helm, if you will, and do a little bit of detail painting on the seats. And by that I mean basically the seat belts. So I'm going to put the Tamiya cement back, because one of us puts things back when we're working on stuff and the other doesn't.
I wouldn't be
So, not every kit is like this, but this kit has the seat belts molded into the seats themselves. A lot of the times the seat belts are actually decals, which you would then put on to the seats. I prefer this approach because it gives them a bit of depth, without like going and buying a set of seat belts. Now, a lot of people would probably use paintbrushes to do the likes of this, but I am going to use toothpicks because I feel like you get a bit more finesse, a bit more control, and brush strokes don't really matter. With these Tamiya lacquer paints, you don't really need to worry about brush strokes anyway. We're having a bit of creative licensing here. Connor, what colour seatbelts do you want?
I suppose
The logos are yellow. In my head, I thought red.
Yeah, you could do red.
Red was kind of instinct. Want to go red?
Red feels okay, yeah.
Okay, we'll go for Tamiya LP7 Pure Red. We'll give it a little bit of a shake. This will be the only time you see me do an action like this on camera. Without paying for it first.
I don't think I'll be paying for that, sorry.
Well, you don't get it for free. Right, so what I do is I tend to actually use the paint that's in the lid rather than worry about the paint that's in the pot, because you can really oversaturate it with the paint that's in the pot. So now I'm just going to take the toothpick and dab it into the lid, get a little bit of paint on the end, and then just ever so slightly go over the seatbelts. Now these Tamiya lacquer paints, and I know we've said that quite a lot, but honestly these are a game changer in paints. They do things in one coat that this would have took 4 or 5 coats with normal paint. Now don't get me wrong, enamel maybe would be fine, but why?
Enamel is very thick. Me just trying to fucking get a good shot of this, but that maybe works.
So yeah, we just carefully go over all of the bits with the toothpick. And as you can see, there's no brush strokes anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried. Are you worried?
Never.
You never even see these, actually. Funny thing is,
Famous last words.
I always say that, oh shoot, you never even see it. And whenever I was younger and I would put a lot of detail in the models, but dad or my brothers and all would be like, oh sure, what do you put all that time into for? You can't even see that much of it all together now. But you'd actually be amazed what you can see through the glass.
We discovered as well the window opens on this kit too.
Well, hopefully it does.
One fella on the internet said it does, and that's good enough for...
That's the basis of any argument, yeah. So once you see it start to actually lift, then that's how you know you're running out of paint on your toothpick.
Yes.
And then you don't have to worry about the faff of cleaning your brush afterwards and all that. Honestly, cleanup for me is the part that I hate the most.
I just don't clean. You know that.
That just, it said it itself. I didn't actually need to say anything now. You kind of, it wrote itself. Judging by the state of this model desk right now.
You know what Einstein said?
Oh, I'm dying!
Cluttered desk, cluttered mind.
That isn't
Empty
the
desk. Empty mind.
Rude. Did Einstein actually say that? Or is that one
I'm
of
sure
those,
that's one of
like, it
those.
was on the internet, so it must be true?
I'm sure that is one of those internet quotes.
You know what they say, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Famously said by George Washington.
He did say that.
Just going back over a wee bit where I went over. The paint overflowed a wee bit, and that would have annoyed me when I was younger, but I'm a big boy now, and I know that people make mistakes.
Not me. You should see my fucking...
No, you were a mistake, Connor. No, not a mistake. Probably an accident.
Yeah, it's more like it, like twins.
Okay, so now we need some silver. And I tried to open this the other day and I couldn't, and I still can't. It's too...
Not happening.
Not happening. What about gunmetal? Will it open? Best I can do is gunmetal. Okay, that one opened. Right, gunmetal it is. Gunmetal seatbelt buckles. But I love the Tamiya gunmetal colour. It's gorgeous. So now we're going to use the other side of the toothpick. Now we need to be more careful this time because that paint is still wet.
Where are you at this?
So let's just put a little dab of paint on that. Now the silver of course would stand out more, but what do? If you can't open the silver, you can't open the silver.
I'm sure they had gunmetal seatbelts in the Italeri Lancias back when they were doing the Group B.
They were probably orange where we're at.
Probably.
So, with both seatbelts finished, it's time to move on to the body. Connor's finished sanding off all the fillers, and he sanded the rest of the body to key the surface, which means basically giving it a light sand so that the primer has something to stick to. In this case, it's just paint. So I began by blasting off the residue of the sandpaper off the body with no paint in the gun, and began to paint. Now, I'd like to point out this is not how you would normally paint a real car, but my airbrush didn't want to put out an awful lot of paint, so I kind of had to keep it on the same spot for a long amount of time. That's really not how you should do it, but I mean, look at it, it gives good results, I guess. I had paint left over, so I decided to do the wheels then.
As you can see, even with the problems with the airbrush, the finish actually came out really, really good. White is an absolute nightmare to paint because it's hard to tell how much paint you're actually putting on, whereas with a colour it's very easy to see, but I think it came out pretty good. I'm not happy with the wheels, but what do you do?
So you painted your body, but how do you get this to look like this? Well, I'll tell you. Your decals, as we mentioned earlier, come on a big sheet like this. And now what these are, they're also known as water slide transfers. And what you do to get these onto here is you chop them out with a pair of scissors, each individual one, and then you put them in water for about 20 seconds, lift them back out, and they should slide off the bit of backing paper and onto the car, if you're very lucky.
Yeah.
And I mean if you are very lucky.
Things like these martini stripes and things like that, they're massive chunks of sticker, so you're kind of just hoping that it doesn't crack or break.
Yeah, because that is a very possible thing. So I'm going to start with an easy one. I'm going to start with this left hand or right hand side bit of livery here. I'm going to get my trusty scissors that are not mine.
We're opting for the number...
Which one are you on?
I'm trying to work that out. Let me just look at
71.
the sheet.
You have a driver you liked?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. We're looking for number 7. That's what we want.
7.
Because Didier Oriol drove the number 7.
Diddy.
Diddies!
Diddy Oriel.
What I tend to do, Connor, is use a knife
Do you?
and slice around it much closer to the actual piece. And it's less faff than with scissors, but you do you.
I've fucking started already. I've started, so I'll finish. No,
You could be the next host of Mastermind. I've started, so I'll finish.
It's like shit kicker mastermind. Takes you back to primary school, doesn't it? Just chopping something out, making real horrible, like rough cuts.
I don't know, I wasn't allowed
we
in
always-
primary school.
No, that's just now. You're not allowed within.
Oh, that's what it, sorry.
500 feet of a primary school. Yeah, so there you go. I've actually not accidentally, but I have cut out technically 2 decals, but they go in the same place, so they're gonna go about there. Is that bit of that goes over the door handles?
Yes.
Right, we'll find out once we dunk it in the water.
Wow, that was straight in there.
No kissing. Yep. So you want to get it nice and wet.
Usually you would use lukewarm or tepid water. You can also use cold water. It just takes longer for the glue to activate.
You'll have noticed that there's now more water and it's warm because the cold water wasn't working for us. We sat for an unreasonable amount of time. Oh look, it's fucking lifting already.
You can take it out.
You think?
Yeah, only leave it in for a wee bit. If it's warm water, you don't leave it in too long.
Fair enough. So it has split in half in the thing, but that's fine because it actually probably will make it easier. So we're going to line this up here. And we're going to go like that. And then, you see that okay?
Yeah, I'm just going around. You just walk away.
Make sure it's all moving so it doesn't just rip on you. And you want to be like...
This is a man who doesn't do race car decals very often.
Yeah. Just lift it up there like that.
Like that.
And you can basically just hoof it on there, like, you know, and what it should do. See, the thing is, decals are not a great idea for a livery like this, because they never are really going to properly conform to the shape of the car.
Unfortunately, despite both of our best efforts, the decals turned out to be an absolute nightmare. We did kind of expect this, as Connor said there, but we had to try it ourselves. So, with this disaster, Connor took it upon himself to decide that he was going to mask and airbrush the Martini stripes on our Delta. Not an easy task. However, With sheer determination and skill and a lot of patience, he and I both managed to get the Martini stripes to look pretty damn presentable, I think it's fair to say.
So, straight off the bat, you're probably going to be like, oh shit, what happened to him? He's changed clothes and lost a load of hair. We started this video a long time ago and life really got in the way and we haven't come back to it since. It's been about a month, so time travel. So we started with the decals and it turned out to be a total pain in the ass. The decals kept cracking and breaking. And Connor was very determined that he was going to be able to paint the decals himself, and to be fair, between the two of us, I think we did an exceptional job. I mean, considering this is the first time we built a model in a very long time, I also started kind of like tidying up and cleaning old models that have been packed away in storage, so ignore the mess, that'll probably disappear in yet another time travel. But for now, so I'm going to get stuck in here and put the rest of the decals on. He put a dull coat on it, I'm not really sure why he did that, but he did. So we're going to put the decals on, the last of the decals, and then put a shiny clear coat over the whole lot. Now, it has annoyed us a wee bit that it's not going to be as good as it could be, but the important thing to learn here, as with any project I think, is that we just kept at it and thought, you know what, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. When's anything ever perfect? Anytime somebody thinks something is perfect, they're probably deluded. So what we will do is we'll finish it and we'll do a thing called weathering, which I think we talked about already, where Connor will put a little bit of dirt and mud and all on it to try and make it look rallied, which also is a very good way of hiding any imperfections, such as this one. So, let's get started.
That's as far as we've got so far. Let us know if you want us to finish it. I mean, we're going to finish it anyway, but like whether you want to watch it being
Whether
finished.
that's now or next year.
Yeah. Let us know if you enjoyed that video. It's something very different from what we usually do, obviously, because it's small car, not big car.
Anyway, yeah, let us know what you thought. If you did like the model making, we could do some more.
We'll definitely do more if you want, because it's easier than the big ones.
It's definitely cleaner.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so thanks very much for watching, and check out our channel if you like classic Mercedes and classic Volkswagens and us two being dicks. Good luck!
Good luck.